Ladies and gentlemen, this is of course a new format that from what you're normally used to. But we're doing it of course for all the intents and purposes of the video. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. It is Mr. Cowboys fan. Of course, before we proceed into the video, please like and subscribe. It is I, Mr. Cowboys fan, where we talk about cowboy things. Now, I initially said I was going to make the schedule release video last night, but then I just decided, you know what? I'm going to make it tonight instead. So here we have the official 2024 Dallas Cowboys schedule release. Starting off with the Cleveland Browns. That one's going to. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think that this might be a pretty easy game in my opinion. All right, like I think that the more that I look at it, the more that I realize that, okay, there are certain parts that we're going to get tested in. Tyler Guyton versus Myles Garrett, Mike Zimmer, running his, defensive scheme and system, and seeing how it works. But for the most part, as far as the Browns offense, that's going to be a pretty easy game because Deshaun Watson and Nick Chubb coming back from season-ending injuries, from last year. So they're going to be a little rusty. So I think where we'll be tested is our offense versus their defense. But our defense versus their offense, I think we're going to be good. So I think that this will be a W over the Browns. So we start 1-0. Then we face the New Orleans Saints. And New Orleans, I mean, they got players, man, but I just don't know quite well if they just know how to put it all together on a consistent basis. So I think that this will be a win for us in our home opener. Get back on track with our dominance at home. And then we face the Baltimore Ravens. And I think we're going to have a hard time in this one against Baltimore. I think that will be our first loss of the year. We dropped to 2-1. Then we face the New York Giants on Thursday Night Football, and short week, but against the Giants, who, while I think that they're going to be a lot more improved this year, I still think that Dak owns New York. So I think that will be a victory. We improve to 3-1. And this one right here against Pittsburgh, I actually think that that's going to be an L, just based off the fact that it's going to be in a hostile environment in Pittsburgh. And with that Steeler defense, man, I think they're going to, contest a lot of things out there. It's going to be a little tough for us. And, I just feel like this is a game that we could definitely drop. So I have us losing that one to fall to 3-2. But then we bounce back with a win against Detroit. I know there's some people who think, that this is a game that, we will lose just based off of what happened last year. And maybe the Lions are mad or something like that and they're really going to try. Well, the fact of the matter is, I think that we have a little bit more to prove just based off the fact that game should have never, went in the way that it did in the first place. Like, we beat ourselves in that game, and that's why that game wound up ending the way it did anyway. I mean, CeeDee Lamb fumbled the ball, in the end zone. And so that wound up being a touchback. There was a sequence at the end of the game where we should have ran out the clock, but couldn't pick up a first down to put the game away. I mean, just, Dak throwing an interception early that led to the Lions getting points. We really should have beat them like convincingly in that game. But instead, it wound up, having high drama at the end. And I think this time, the circumstances outcome is going to be way different. And I think that we handle business at home. Then we play the San Francisco 49ers. I don't think the 49ers will be at full strength in this game because remember, Dre Greenlaw and Talanoa Hufanga got injured late in the season. Talanoa Hufanga got injured late. Dre Greenlaw got injured very late. I mean, in the Super Bowl, matter of fact. Um, so I think they're gonna be probably still a little empty-handed going into this game, and even if they're gonna be healthy, back in it, they're still gonna probably not be fully, back yet. So this is going to be on the shoulders of their offense, and I think that our defense is going to do a far better job this time around. I feel like with Dan Quinn, at least last year when we played them, I feel like a lot of guys were playing very undisciplined, playing out of position, playing too aggressive, and Kyle Shanahan just basically, you know, took that to full advantage, basically. So, I think that Mike Zimmer is going to have us way more disciplined and focused and locked in. And I think that, the offense, with a hobbled, 49ers defense, I think we'll be able to take care of business in this game and improve to 5-2. Then we face the Atlanta Falcons. And Atlanta, we know about the acquisition of Kirk Cousins. I know a lot of people feel like really what the Falcons are missing is a quarterback. And in some ways you could say that's true. I think that they still are missing a little bit defensively, especially a pass rush. So that inability, that lack of a pass rush is going to prove, and pay dividends. Dak is going to have a lot of time in this game and, do surgery on Atlanta's secondary, who, while they're good, they can only be good for a certain period of time because you can't cover your receiver forever. So either way, I think that will be a W. We improve to 6-2. Then we play Philadelphia at home. Y'all know how we do normally at home. I think that will be a victory. We improve to 7-2. Then we face the Houston Texans. Hey man, Stroud, man, that Texans team is loaded on both sides of the ball, including acquisitions like Daniil Hunter, Stephon Diggs, Joe Mixon, a 1 year experienced CJ Stroud, even though he already looked pretty damn good, last year, of course. I think that this will be a very, very tough game for us. And I actually do have us dropping one at home to the Texans to fall to 7-3. But then we face the Washington Commanders and we bounce back with a victory in that game. Dan Quinn, I don't think he has it like some Commander fans and Commander Faithful think that he does. I don't think he has it, but hey, that's you, man. I think that we'll be able to handle business in this game and improve to 8-3. Then we play the New York Giants on Thanksgiving, just like we did a couple years back. And I can see this game going real similar to that game when we played them on Thanksgiving. We might start off a little sloppy in the first half, but then we start to clean up some of our crap and turn things around in the second. and we end up winning convincingly. So I have us winning that game to improve to 9-3. Then we have an 11-day layoff before we get ready to face the Cincinnati Bengals. So, yeah, not only are we being cherished the reward of having 11 days of rest, but then we got to play the Cincinnati Bengals. And this isn't an early season Cincinnati Bengals team either. This is a late in the season, early December Cincinnati team who by this point they're starting to hit their stride probably. However, being at home, I do believe that we can still pull this one out. But it's going to be ugly. It's going to be a tough game. I'm thinking something like 24-23, 26-24, something like that. It's going to be close. It's not going to be one of those comfortable blowouts that we're used to having. It's going to be a close, it's definitely going to be one of those, nerve-wracking ones. Then we face the Carolina Panthers in Carolina. Now, the jury is still up, of course, on how much of a leap is Bryce Young going to take from year one into year two. This is going to be mid-December, so we'll have a clear idea of what Bryce Young is all about by this point. If you ask me, I still don't think Carolina has enough. This could be a trap game, but I think that we'll be able to handle business in this one quite like we did last year and, win in Charlotte. Now, the Tampa Bay game, this is one that I think that will be a trap game. I actually don't think that the Buccaneers are going to be as good this year as they were last year. I feel like they lost a couple key pieces on defense in Devin White and Carlton Davis. Say what you want, but those guys are legit, and those guys are really, really solid contributors to that defense. And don't know what they're going to do as far what their plan is, as far as replacing those guys. So I think with their defense taking a step back, I think their team as a whole is going to take a step back. So that's why I'm saying that this is going to be a trap game, because I don't think the Bucs are going to be that good this year. But I can see us dropping one in this game. And yeah, that's now 3 losses at home, but it's all good. Then we bounce back, because another reason why I think that will be a trap game against Tampa Bay is because we're probably, overlooking them and looking ahead to that big Philly game that's probably going to be very, very important. And I think that we'll be able to go into Philadelphia, and I think we'll be able to win this game. It'll be the first time since 2021 since we've swept the season series of the Philadelphia Eagles. And then we close out the year against the Washington Commanders at home. And this is going to be total domination. We're just trying to handle business and, make sure that we got the division locked up, because I think we still might have to win that final game of the regular season to secure the division title. And so there you go, people. 13-4, back-to-back NFC East division champs. I'm so sick and tired of hearing that NFC East curse and how no team in the NFC East has won the division, in consecutive years since 2003, 2004. I'm so sick. I'm so, sick and tired of hearing that crap. All right, I just want this season to move along, this 2024 season to happen, and for us to get rid of that, because we're winning the division. We're winning the division, and, I think that, everything break right, we should probably get the 1 seed in the NFC as well, because I think the 49ers are going to have a little bit of a Super Bowl hangover. I think they're going to take a little bit of a step back also because of injuries, players that they're not going to have to start the season. So if everything break right, 13-4, number one seed, home field advantage, and that's what I got. So let me know how y'all feel about this. If y'all feel like there's a few games in there that we might drop, like maybe we might drop one to the Falcons, maybe we might drop one to the Commanders, possibly the Bengals, but let me know how y'all feel. But to all my audience, to all Cowboys Nation, this is Mr. Cowboys fan out.